All right, we're gonna go through the weekly section for your Panda Planner venture. So we structured this in reviewing last week and planning next week or this coming week, pretty much similar to the Panda Planner Classic, but we got some business adjustments here that we need to talk about. So first off, you want to look through the things that went well last week, and you want to make sure that you take the time to actually appreciate them, because as mentioned in the other tutorial videos, we entrepreneurs not that great at appreciation. So what are the big things that happened last week that you could actually be proud of, and you can take that moment to actually give yourself a pat on the back and recognize that you're making progress and you're working hard and it's awesome. Next, you want to talk about how you can improve. So this is structured this way so you're not dwelling on it. You're not being bummed that things didn't go better. You're just like, all right, there's room for opportunity. There's room for growth. How can I do that? Then you want to do customer highlight. The customer highlight here is important because I think it's easy in business to just focus on what needs to happen and you lose touch with the customer. So this is could be a review that came in from a customer or a comment that came in, or just something that you noticed during customer research, or it could be a conversation you had with customers. But ultimately, this should just be something where it's going to keep you reminded of the fact that who you're working for and keep you in touch with that so that you're focusing on the right things in your business. Processes to create. You had your daily section at the bottom of underneath your priorities. You're writing down anything that you're noticing where you need to be creating processes. These are where you want to be writing these down to account for those, and looking through the last week, what were some of the processes that you needed to create. And that way you're going to help yourself to not be bogged down by repetitive tasks. So you're going to create processes so that gets handled or delegated or just systematized in some fashion. Next, we're going to look at our KPIs. So you want to look at those KPIs. You're going to probably want to have more detail than what we have here, but this is an example. So for you in your business, whatever your KPIs are, you're going to want to write those down here and write the specific metrics that you're looking at so that you're tracking. Are you on track for your overall goals for this quarter? Are you on track for your overall goals for this year? And you can also have your direct reports put in there too, so you can review that with them. The next section is going to be your, so here you say review your top 3 to 7 quarterly goals. Are you on track? Are you off track? And then look at those and see if there are any issues coming up. And then rather than just say, all right, here's our issue, how we're going to solve it, you want to look into what is the actual core problem of this issue. So oftentimes we have issues and it's reflective of a core problem. It's like a symptom of the issue. So you want to figure out what that core problem is, and then you want to make a plan. So what are the plans or the solution, the action plan? Who's going to be responsible for it? When's it going to get done? Stuff like that. And then opportunities. Again, we have that section where at the bottom of the daily section, we're going to write the opportunities that come up, and rather than try and get excited about them, then you're going to come back here. You're going to write down what the opportunity is in the assess. As soon as my mouse comes here, there we go, mouse. Write down whatever the opportunity is in this section, and then you want to look at, all right, what is the potential ROI or the revenue on this thing? So this is a way that rather than just have an opportunity come across your plate, get distracted, get excited, start looking into it, you come and deal with this once a week where you can properly assess any opportunities that come in, and you're looking at the potential ROI or revenue. Then you're looking at the resources you have. Do you have enough resource to actually go on this? And what is the risk of those? Is it a high risk, low reward, or is it high risk, high reward? You kind of just want to assess all these things so that you're looking and able to compare it to other opportunities or compare it to the current things that you're working on and be able to compare apples to apples. And then the opportunity cost. So looking at the current things that you're working on, anytime a new opportunity comes in, you're essentially saying no to something else. So you might say yes to an opportunity, but you're saying no to something else that you already had prioritized. So kind of look at that. What is the opportunity cost, and is that worth it? So going through these steps are going to allow you to really assess your opportunities and find out whether or not it's something you want to pursue. All right, then we're going into planning our next week. Things that you're going to do to make this week great. Of course, we still want to address our personal, our family, our friends, and our relationships with whether a significant other or it could just be any other important relationships in your life. So you want to make sure that you're taking time to figure out what you're going to do, because ultimately, if these areas of life are struggling, what is the point of the business anyway? So make sure that we're keeping these things in check. Learn something new. Obviously, we are doing this all the time when we're growing our business, but making sure that we're prioritizing, that we're learning something new. And for us in business, I think that we want to make sure that we're prioritizing, whether it's a book we're reading or a podcast that we're listening to, that the information there, it's easy to get distracted by information and kind of do the whole shiny object syndrome thing. But if we're strictly paying attention to the things that we're learning are going to be something relevant to what we're working on this week, this quarter, this month, or whatever, that's where we're going to really start to see a lot of benefits. And then the meeting section here is you want to kind of recap, what are the meetings that you're going to have this week? What are the big ones that you want to have with your team, with your direct reports, any other big meetings that you need to prepare for? And then here in the projects and subtasks, you want to go into more detail than this example, but essentially you want to kind of write out like what are the big things, like what are the 5 top projects that you want to be doing this week, and then break down each one of those into subtasks. So this is kind of just a good high-level planning for the week. Like if you're going through this week and you have an ideal week and you can just crush it, what are the things you really want to check off? And then in order to crush those things, what are the steps that need to happen in order to check that off? And those are going to be your subtasks. And then from there, after you go through that, those are going to become your priority tasks. So you want to fill out however many of these, but I'd say at least 5. But try not to go more than 8, because ultimately if you have 8 priority tasks, then they're, maybe none of them are priorities. But 8 is doable. I'd just say we wouldn't want to go beyond that. So let's go ahead and limit ourselves to 8. We can get 8 done. We're pretty hardcore. We work hard. We can get that shit done. So yeah, there you go. That is your system for the Panda Planner Venture Weekly.